episode 4054, When No One Knows.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're having a fabulous week. I know we have been experiencing some crazy rain, but that's okay. April showers brings May flowers. And so I know we're already in May. I get it. We're behind. But you know what? We count our blessings, right? When no one knows. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already haven't had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com, where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, inspiring connection and community. Well, I do hope you're ready for something extraordinary today, because I just want to remind you that God's already gone before you. I don't know what you're dealing with. I don't know where you've been and what this season has been like for you, but sometimes life just feels heavy. There's just this weight to it. You're doing your best to keep going, but eventually you look up and think, what now? What next? I can't handle one more thing. And in all reality, you're thinking good or bad, like, my plate is full, Lord. I can't do this. How are you getting through the day when no one knows? You know, the Apostle Paul knew that feeling when he wrote, "We were crushed and overwhelmed beyond our ability to endure." But he also knew this: you may reach the end of your own strength, but you'll never reach the end of God's strength. No situation is hopeless. God can restore your health. He can rebuild your broken relationships. He can renew your sense of purpose. But sometimes when we're in the middle of all of our CRAP of life, right, it's hard for us to get up, to get moving, because we've got the challenges, we've got the rejections, the adversities, the problems, and we're living in that day after day after day. And let me tell you, I've had a really, really rough week. And I'm not talking about this week. I'm talking from this past Tuesday to just yesterday. I've been leading up a little bit about some things that have been happening. And I think I shared, actually, maybe it was just a few days prior to the actual event. But let me just paint this picture for you. I get a text message early in the morning, and I couldn't really read it because it's dark. My eyes are still coming open. I'm in a really, really dark room. I'm traveling. I'm actually celebrating my son's graduation. He graduates this Friday, top of his class, amazing, early, 3 years to get his bachelor's. Can you say I'm just a happy mama? Happy Mother's Day to me. I'm just, woohoo. But so we're celebrating. We've got like 4 or 5 events to go to with him. And I get this text on a Tuesday morning last week. And it was something about this tree, and, it almost came across in my trying to read, because I didn't have my specs on, like, oh, they're complaining about something and my tree. And I'm like, what? And it looked like it said oak. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And I knew who it was from. It was my across the street neighbors. So I'm like, I just got to get up. I got to get my specs. I get up, put my specs on, clear my eyes, blink a couple times, and I read it. And basically it says, "We're so sorry about your oak tree. If there's anything we can do, if you need to go somewhere, let us know. We're here to help." I'm out of town. I text him back and I say, "What do you mean, my oak tree? I'm out of town." And then the picture. My 150-year-old tree, over a century-year-old, I don't know if that's probably on the young side of it, completely toppled over in my front yard. You could not even see the house. He was so kind. Our neighbors are wonderful. He went over and sent me a little clip video, a couple pictures. He didn't do anything dangerous because we didn't know what would move. There was a storm that had come in Monday night into Tuesday early morning. All we could think is that it's what took the tree down. The tree was perfectly healthy. She was honkin' huge. She was a staple in the community within our historic district. We had traffic moving so slow, like talk about goosenecks everywhere. I mean, they were like driving almost backwards with their heads going the wrong directions, like, owls can do, taking these pictures. Because you can't imagine this humongous tree totally covering everything. You couldn't see our house. The tree was as tall as it was when it was laying on the ground as it was standing up on the ground because of the limbs. But let me tell you this. In the midst of all of it, the angels laid it just perfectly. Yes, there was damage. Nothing at all structural, amazingly enough. There was some damage to the roof. Shingles need to be replaced. No broken glass. Where it hit, it could have created this humongous fire because of where we have our electrical system for the house. It missed this little cute white metal bench that really is nothing but holds like a Raggedy Ann doll every once in a while or a scarecrow during the fall. I just put little decorations out there. We've got lights out there. Totally missed the bench by literally less than a finger width between the bark and the bench. We had just planted, which you've been hearing me talk about, all these beautiful, beautiful flowers, azaleas and zinnias and, oh my goodness, marigolds and petunias, and we just had them everywhere. For the most part, they fell in between all of it. It was crazy. Of course, we're 2 hours away. I immediately go wake up everybody, and I said, we got to go. We got to go now. Like, we got to go. My mom and I hopped in the car. She didn't ask any questions. She just kind of, stumbled to her feet, got herself ready because she's in town for her grandson, and off we went. I went to the gas station. I finally showed her the picture, and she's like, oh, no. When no one knows. When no one knows what you're going through. When you feel like you don't have it all together, because in all honesty, you don't. When it feels like life is crumbling around you, because it really is. What do you do? How do you hold yourself together? How do you take that next step when you know that there's so many things that you've got to get done because you're in this process within your life? It's this season, but it seems like everything's coming at you. So when we drove up late morning on Tuesday, the traffic was going so slow, you couldn't help but drive slow. We barely got my vehicle into the driveway because it was like completely covered. We have this huge U-shaped driveway. We're on the far side of it. So we barely tuck in off the traffic, trying to miss what few branches were over there. And you couldn't see the house. And all I could do was sit there and cry. You see, I do have this affection for nature. I blame my grandpa. We used to walk and talk, and he would tell me about trees, and we would pick up things. We would go fishing. I was that kind of girl. But I was also a girly girl. But I was a girly girl who loves nature. And this oak tree, I didn't plant it, but someone did. And now it's no longer. Just completely, sprawled across my entire front, and I could not see anything. I didn't know if the house was hit. Couldn't tell what was damaged. Didn't know about anything. Maybe you've had an oak tree fall in the middle of your season. Maybe you're wondering, I don't know if I can ever get out of this. And you're saying, how do I get through it when no one knows? I want to remind you today, whatever your oak tree is for you, you're created for more, especially when no one knows. Most of the time we find ourselves in that place because we don't want to be a burden when we're already carrying so much. So what can you do when the weight is crushing and the world keeps spinning unaware? You got to crush your day with hope. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Crush your day with hope. Because when you have a little hope, just a mustard seed, you can go a long way through the day. You can just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And as much as you think you're not going to make it through, somehow you rise again. So what does it look like in real life when you got to, honestly, you got to learn to crush your day with hope? Number one, anchor yourself in what's true and constant. Your feelings lie about your future. Stress and despair, they want to blind you to the opportunities. What happens is all you see is the negative, and you allow yourself for a moment to go back into, this isn't working for me. All these things are happening, and all you see is bad, 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 bad. Negative, 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 negative. Say that fast 5 times. But you see your feelings lie. Take a moment. Breathe in what God has given you every morning, or if you have an oak tree in front of you, to remind yourself of unshakable truths. Maybe it's a Bible verse for you, a quote, or a memory of strength you've forgotten. This isn't toxic positivity, right? It's fuel when your own tank is empty. This is about saying, I know this to be true in my life. I know God shows up when. I know He'll do this when no one knows what's going on. And quite frankly, we know that a lot of us, if we were to ask and people say, hey, how are you doing? You're like, fine, fine. My granddaughter, oh my goodness. Her thing is, fine, Grandma, fine. Like, she wants to do it herself, and it's fine, Grandma. And she says it definitively. Like, this is a stopping point. And so when we ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? And it's fine, all I can think about is that little sweet little voice, 2-year-old little girl voice that says, fine, fine, Grandma, as if, no, you're really not fine. There's something more behind the fine. There's a different 4-letter word. Not sure what it is, but it's something different. It's not fine. It may be full. It may be fail. It could be whatever you want to put in that 4-letter word with F. But you see, when you allow yourself to see the blessings that God has already given you, that you know He's gone before you, that you've seen the other side, that's what you grab hold of. That's what you anchor yourself to. That's what's true. That's what's constant. When I was holding on to the oak tree, and boy, did I give her a kiss. Gave her a little love. It sounds strange, I know. But even my kids, when I told them, not immediately. In fact, I didn't tell them till literally almost a whole week later. Why? Because I had to get over it myself. I had a lot to do. I mean, I had this humongous oak tree in my yard. I could not physically get to my house. I had to climb over the oak tree to get it. If I anchored myself to that oak tree, I'd still be sitting out in my front yard crying. She'd still be there too. I wouldn't be anywhere. But no, now that I am a week beyond it, and we've got other things in motion, I know what's true because I'm not locked into my feelings. I'm locked into the truth of who I am and who I am becoming by God's design, not by mine. And an oak tree doesn't define me. It'll always be a part of my story. But it's not the story. Anchor yourself in what's true. Number 2, take one small step, not 10 giant ones. When you're overwhelmed, action feels impossible. You feel like literally you're frozen in time. Your feet can't move. They're so heavy. So shrink your to-do list down to one tiny little bitty manageable tasks. Just one thing. Maybe it's just sitting down in your kitchen with a glass of water and drinking it slowly and feeling the water as it goes through your body. Like seriously. Maybe it's just taking a few moments to stretch, to get your hips out of your waist and then the neck out of your shoulders, standing taller. Maybe it's sending a text to someone that you know will be a good listening ear for you, one that you trust. You see, small wins build momentum to face what's next. But you've got to be willing to take that one small step. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. You see, that oak tree, it wouldn't be gone by now had I not been willing to take the one step. And I had to figure it out. I've dealt with fallen trees, but not like this one. And I hope I never have to see it again. I mean, the whole thing came rooted up. I could see 2.5, 3 feet down into my ground. I was like, that's a long way down. And it was wet. It wasn't good. It was crazy. But guess what? I still stood, even though the oak tree didn't. I was willing to take the next step, one small step, picking up the phone, making a phone call, having the neighbor come over and say, can I just park my car at your house? Because I have no place to put it. We're on a major road and it's wonderful. I wouldn't change it for anything because it's great. If we get any form of bad weather, the roads are clear because it has to be. It's technically a highway, even though it's not really a highway by my, definition, but it's still cleared. So I'm okay with it. But it's those little things. One step at a time leads to miles of greatness. Are you willing to take your step? Just one little one. And then finally, number 3, speak, even if only to yourself. My friend, isolation breeds despair, and it multiplies it. Speak your truth, whether out loud or in writing. And if you have someone to talk to, reach out to them. Even if it's to leave them a voicemail that they don't return, but you just have to get it off your chest, because then you don't have to carry the burden silently. And if you can't share the struggle with others yet, journal it or say it in a voice memo to get it out of you. Putting words to pain breaks its grip and reminds you you're still here. You're still fighting. You're still alive. Like you're breathing. You have your wits about you. And let me tell you, there were a few times I was like, I told my mom, I said, I can't do this. I said, I'm done. And she's like, okay. I said, well, what else is next? I mean, we had just finished everything. And I was like, we're finished. We're done. We don't have to do any more. I can make some phone calls and we can go to the next step of what we're doing. But now, no, it comes to a screeching halt. The season changes a little bit. And I'm back on the hamster wheel. The cool thing is speaking it out loud, having the tears fall, was actually healing to the heart. Life isn't ever going to be perfect. But let me tell you, the season that you're in doesn't define you, even if it feels endless. So lean on the strength that never quits. God loves you. I love you. And you don't have to sit there wondering, is anybody going to come rescue me? No, you already have been rescued because of what God has done already for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have decisions to make. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be hardships. That doesn't mean that you're still going to be stretched and you still have to grow and you still have to make some hard choices. But you're going to get through it. So lean in. You're made for days like this. Hidden, heavy, but never hopeless. So my oak tree, well, what I can tell you now, she's been taken to the good old chipper, and she's beautiful somewhere. But we have since replaced her with 2 maples and another beautiful oak tree. 1 became 3. We're in the process of making the repairs, which are going to be probably a few weeks in the making. But even today, I was reminded that sometimes things happen for a reason, even if you can't see it or imagine it. And I just want to encourage you, keep looking for the small little God winks in everything that happens in your life. Because when you do, I promise you, He will show you exactly what you need at the time you need it. God's got you, and you've got this. Go in peace, be present, be incredible, be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.